In 2023, the Women's World Cup captivated the country. Stadiums were packed, nationwide watch parties overflowed, and for a moment, the national team was the center of the Australian sporting world. That momentum is backed by numbers no other code can match. This map of amateur participation lights up from coast to coast. Soccer is by a wide margin the most played sport in Australia. But that energy rarely makes it to the professional level. While millions play on the weekends, the domestic A-League struggles with empty seats and stagnant revenue. Australia has mastered the art of producing players, but it hasn't figured out how to keep them as fans of the local game. The league is fighting for oxygen in a market dominated by two domestic giants, the Australian Football League and the National Rugby League. The scale of that competition is immense. The AFL alone draws enough fans to rank as the fourth most attended professional sports league on the planet. Soccer has been the country's most popular participant sport for decades, yet it remains an outsider in its own professional market, a position forged by the way Australia initially met the game. After the Second World War, waves of European immigration fundamentally shifted the country's demographics. For newly arrived Greek, Italian, and Croatian immigrants, local soccer clubs became more than just teams. They were cultural sanctuaries and survival networks in a sometimes hostile new home. Much of Anglo-Australia pushed back. They branded the game with derogatory labels like wogball, marginalizing the sport in favor of cricket and rugby. Those ethnic roots were the sport's greatest strength, keeping it alive for decades. But they also created a social stigma that kept the game away from the mainstream. This created a ceiling for local players. By the 1990s, stars like Harry Kewell realized that to find professional respect and financial success, they had to leave Australia for Europe. At home, the sport's governing body grew desperate for the corporate dollars and media rights that were flowing to other codes. Their solution was a policy of de-ethnicization. Administrators forcibly banned historic club names, logos, and flags from the National League, attempting to scrub away the sport's immigrant history. The move sparked a civil war. It alienated the loyal fans who had built the game, but it didn't immediately bring in the new, mainstream audience the board was chasing. Governance failures and financial instability eventually forced a total overhaul. The 2003 Crawford Report recommended a complete restructuring of how the game was run. A new body, the Football Federation of Australia, took control. Led by billionaire Frank Lowry, the goal was to finally turn soccer into a professionalized corporate product. This led to the creation of the A-League, a franchise-based competition designed to be a clean slate, far removed from the cultural tensions of the past. They also changed Australia's place in the world. In 2005, the federation moved the national team into the Asian Football Confederation, creating a direct and difficult qualifying path that now leads to every World Cup. The reset saved the sport's finances and secured its international future, but it also finished the work of erasing its local history. On the surface, the strategy worked. The national teams are now beloved icons, and the green and gold has become a staple of Australian identity. But as soccer tried to blend in, its rivals did the opposite. Codes like the AFL and NRL began looking at the same multicultural communities that soccer had just walked away from. Those rival codes now put diversity at the front of their marketing, heavily promoting Indigenous participation and multicultural rounds to grow their reach. In battlegrounds like Western Sydney, these codes are aggressively moving into soccer's heartland, setting up academies and community programs to win over the next generation of players. The irony is hard to miss. Soccer spent years trying to scrub away its cultural differences, while its rivals are now using those same cultural ties to expand their own power. Corporate restructuring can fix a balance sheet, and a sanitized image can win over the country for a few weeks during a World Cup. But a professional league requires more than high participation numbers. It needs the deep, generational loyalty that comes from shared history. Australian soccer moved into the mainstream by leaving its past behind, only to realize that without its soul, it has no way to defend its home turf.